For the past 30 days, at exactly 2:34 I've been awoken by a child screaming. Every single night, for 30 nights. I would say the child is around 5 or 6 years old and a female. Living in a small neighborhood, I know everyone who lives here. I could list all of them right now without having to think about it. I know for a fact that all the children that have ever lived here are well over 25 now and have left the neighborhood to live somewhere with better job opportunities. No one has moved here in the past 12 years. At least that's what I thought until last night when I looked out of the window after being awoken again. Being a widow since last year, I live by myself, except for my cat who slept through it all. I wiped the steamed-up window and peered out into the half-lit street. In the middle of the road was a small, rather slim child. Everything about them seemed normal, except the fact they were standing on the road at 2:34 at night, and their eyes. Even squinting out into the dimly lit lane, I could easily make out those eyes, so wide, they were almost glowing. There was no visible pupil, and not once did I see them blink. They were just staring straight forward. Suddenly they fell to the floor, and another scream pierced my ears. There wasn't anyone nearby that could have knocked them over or a car in sight. It seemed like a huge gust of wind had blown them over, which would make sense, but the weather had been eerily calm all night. I debated whether I should go outside to make sure they were okay, but a part of my brain told me something wasn't right. I stayed put, keeping my eyes on the small child lying on the hard, cold floor. There was no sign of breathing and I realized they could really be in danger. I reached for my phone, turned it on, no signal. I looked back out onto the street and they were gone. Like they had vanished into thin air. I managed to convince myself it had all been my imagination and slowly got back into bed. Just as I pulled the covers over myself, I heard the door banging 2 times. I sat up straight. Someone knocked again, 3 times this time. I reached under my bed, for the gun I kept there. 4 knocks, sharp and clear, interrupted me. In my head I tried to piece everything together. Suddenly I realized. Every night at 2:34 I heard a scream. 2 knocks, then 3, then 4. I started to panic, fear spread through my body. The door crashed open, and that was when I blacked out. Next thing I knew I was in hospital. 3 cops were sitting beside my bed. I closed my eyes again, then heard them speak. They said someone had called them after hearing a scream. They said it sounded like a woman, probably in her 50s. I realized then what that meant. I'm a 56-year-old woman. Every night I heard someone scream, until it reached the end of the month and it was my turn. I sat up. I asked the police officers if they had caught anyone. They said no. I asked them who had called. They said it was anonymous. The only clue they had was a ring they had found in the middle of the street with the letters R.W. engraved on it. R.W., R.W., R.W. I scanned my head for people I knew with those initials. Only one person. My dead husband, Robert White. They asked me if I would like to see the ring in case I could identify it. They brought it to me and I took it into my hands. I knew this ring. I had the same one on my finger with my initials on it. This was the ring I had given my husband for our 30th anniversary. He had never taken it off. He was buried with it.